YouTube, it's been a couple weeks. Welcome back. I did finally raise the returns up to the ceiling. This way I can get in a little easier to the tank. My first design was a little bit flawed there, going right across. The reason I did it is because I didn't want the extra height head on the pump. I thought it might cut down flow too much, but after running the pump, the pump's too large for the system as it is. I mean, it's 3,100 gallons, so I'm okay with the extra head. It's only, it's actually 2 foot above the tank. Might be hard to tell in the video, but so here we go. The pump's been off all day. I've been working on this piping. Let me go back for you. So here it is. Let me show you here a little bit better. So it just runs straight down, 4 taps again. That thing up here is there just in case. Just in case of what? In case of power outage and the tank overflows. I may run that down, or I may just leave it like that, capped off, because I can always cut it and extend it back down if I need to. What I thought I may need is a reverse check valve in it, so if the pump turned off for any reason, it would hold while it's on. The pump's on, of course, and the pump's off. If it was reversed, it would suck in air. And but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend some PVC pipe just below the surface right there, so it'll just got a little bit of cold. So it'll be just below the surface, so it will draw down a little bit, but I won't even need that thing up there if I just put those little stub downs, but they're not too far in the water. So here we go. Let me go back for a minute. Okay, what am I doing here? The pump now, as always, fed the pellet reactor. It's got a valve there to adjust the flow. And then you come up here, straight up. That's going to adjust the flow to the tank. Just in case I need a little pressure, more pressure to all the mini reactors and the chiller and stuff. I can create a little bit more back pressure there, which will force more water to the left. Again, that's the same thing what this valve's doing too. The one all the way to the right or left over there. That's going to have a little back pressure if needed to feed my second tank, which is in here. So that's second tank over there. That's going to be fish only, nothing that's reef safe. And then that way I have the best of both worlds. This is going to be my reef tank, and that will be fish only and stuff like that. It's actually a 50-gallon tank, so I could add a couple fish to it. So there's my adjustments for that. And it runs over here. So what I'm doing over here, before, if you remember, I had my pump controller there. So I'm gonna, since the pipe's above it and there's a 90 there, I'm gonna relocate it just in case there's ever a leak. I'm not gonna take a chance on losing the controller. Sorry about that. I should have grabbed something to drink before I did the video. So here's a crazy thing I did. Okay. Here's my GFO and carbon. So what I'm going to do, I just barely mounted it, so I still have to put the containers in the bottom, of course. So here's the valves to adjust the flow in the ends. So when it came originally, these two ends, one end was on the left and the out went to the in on the carbon, and then the out on the carbon went out to the side. So in and out was through both chambers. So what I did is I took the screws off the top, turned them, and then I made both ends to the front, put valves there so I can adjust it. I ran a 3/4 right here in, 3/4 here, reducer to half because they're 1/2 inch inlets and outlets. So and then that's a reducing T, so that's 1/2 inch there, of over there. Okay, here's the cool stuff. Let me go around here. I think it's cool anyway. Hope you can see. Okay, so here's the outs. Let me see if I can add a light real quick. I guess not. Okay, well anyways, here's the outs. These two are going to come out, and they're going to go to a 3/4 again, but before they do that, or I may just leave them individual, but what I need to do is put 2 ball valves on there. One ball valve, if you can see my finger, 1 ball valve to shut the water off here. This one's just going to be to a barb fitting with a hose, and I could put a bucket down there, down right here, and what that'll do is I close that, of course, when it's running, and I'll leave the ball valve over here, or the one that's here on, and it'll run through the system. But if I change the media and you have to flush the media, I'll close off the valve to the system and open the valve to both of them, to 2 hoses to a bucket, flush out the media, and that way it doesn't go to the tank. Close the valves up, open this one again back to the tank, and then I've got it all flushed and everything. And you know, I'll have a 5-gallon bucket down here, and I'll just mix up a batch of salt water and put it back in. So that's how I'll change out the media pretty easy. So here's the chiller, of course. It's just, of course, I've been drilling all day, so it's pretty dirty. Anyways, the hoses just in and out go here. This one is the in, right here, and it, of course, you know, goes right here. Of course, to the feed. So the ends. This is the in. This is. You really don't want threads and stuff in Teflon because they could leak over time. But I did want some kind of a tap here so I could maybe put something else on, or just to have it. I don't know. It seemed like a good idea. And then so here's the feed to the media reactor, and then that's going to come over. It's going to come over here with a couple weird, maybe 2 or 3 45. It's going to tap into here. I'm going to cut the pipe here, right here, for another 1/2-inch tap for other stuff that I'm going to add on later, and I'll just I'll bring it down here and cap it for now, or whatever. I just want to have a lot of taps off there so I can, you know, and also later, I mean, you can just cut the pipe easy and just put a T in here if you want another one, and another one here, or whatever you want to do. You can add a bunch more. And I put it behind here so it looks kind of cool. Oh, and here's here's what I did with the chiller. I don't know if you can see it, but anyways, that's the opening. It's cut so the chiller can breathe air through there. Hang on one second. So yeah, so right there you can kind of see it. So it's got a fan in the front, and it's gonna draw air through the chiller and exhaust the air on the other side of this wall to keep the heat out of this area where the fish area. Next winter, it's springtime now, of course, but next winter I'm going to put because I do air conditioning heating, so I'm going to put a vent right here off of my system, which is going to keep this area warm. I'll probably add a curtain rod that goes probably behind this, you know, right there somewhere, behind this with the curtains, and then it'll be right at the edge of the platform there. But you know, the curtain rod, not rods, but the curtain track will be attached to the ceiling. I'll just pull it closed and all the way over here around this way. So I'll just, with curtains, I'll just close it, and then, you know, when it's summertime, I'll draw them back against, you know, out of the way, and or just take them down. You know, have some kind of attachment where I take them down. I mean, that's how I'm going to keep it warm. How I'm going to keep it cool, I've got a water cooler I installed, remote control, right there. I'm going to also add a thermostat to it. so it can keep the temperature. So that's the water cooler. Here's my RODI system. So it's just covered right now because it was cold, and it lets out fresh air in from outside. So I won't ever have to worry about a saturation of carbon dioxide or monoxide in the garage area, because that cooler will always flush it. And also there's large gaps. It's an insulated garage door, but there's gaps around it. So I mean, I've got plenty of fresh air in here, and there's the only appliance is the water heater, but that's not a big deal. So that's why I'm going to put a curtain for the winter time, and the water cooler will keep this room cool in the summertime. And it also, if you look, it's directly across from the fish tank, so it'll blow right over in this area. And up on the wall, I'll put a humidity and temperature and a clock and stuff up there. In a couple weeks I'll get one. I can tell what temperature it is in here, and a thermostat for that water cooler. So that's it. Hope you guys like the new piping. Looks, guys might want to comment, and you could have did it this way or that way, but this way I did it. The couple of reasons is before I had this valve over here or over here, and it actually it's bigger than the pipe, so it took space, and that's all you have with the bulkhead. It does stick out, and then you have a 90. So anyways, I didn't take up too much space. It's probably hard to estimate how much, but I have exactly I believe it's 16 by 16, so that's what I have to work with out of a 24 by 24 now. And it's 16 square, so I got room for a nice skimmer. So again, here it is. And then I'm going to add the different components. I might put some shelves here if I need it on that strip right there. Just depends. I might just leave that open, and the reactor and the chiller there, and then some more stuff in through this area. And that's why I got the tap that would be right there for it to feed it. All right. Hope you enjoy. And oh, by the way, I have this too. This is a 2,000 watt peak. I've had it for probably 7-8 years. It's still in mint condition. These are Memphis Digital amps, 1,000 continuous, 2,000 peak. Stinger capacitor. Another Memphis Digital. They call 1000s because that's what the continuous power is. These are some older T3s, or maybe they're T2s. I think they're T2 power, Rockford Fosgate powers. Those are, again, 2000 peak and 1000 continuous. And that's on the woofer. That's just the vents for it. So that's for sale. I'll got any buyers, I'll ship it to you. All right, but back to the main stuff, the fish. All right, take care. Have a blessed Easter. Bye.